That's right. It's another late night, which means it's time for another reach into the Just Giglet grab bag. And tonight we're pulling out. Gotta reach deep down in there. Oh boy. I'm gonna need the stepladder on this one. And oh boy, freshly minted from the Joshua Thomas Prince Vault. It's In Your Arms. Wow, this one's old, man. This is an ancient one. What we're talking here. Wow.
I thought this was the Just Giglet grab bag, Dragon. This isn't funny.
No, not funny, but still, can't have Just Giggle without the J in that equation, which, of course, Joshua Thomas.
Oh,
and
God.
This is what they get for not giving us content. We have to reach into the embarrassing baby photos, which in some cases is going to be something really archival, which is this.
All right. Dragon, I gotta tell you, this really surprised me, especially given the context of this thing. I will say the acting is, there's some line delivery that isn't great, but, Joshua Thomas literally had 48 hours to come up with this whole thing. The script, the casting, the shooting, the editing. Dragon, I can nitpick the hell out of the acting if I really want to, but all things considered, this is a really clever premise. And I was caught off guard by how suspenseful it actually was. Like, folks, we're very used to Joshua Thomas being the funny man, but in addition to being the man of many hats, apparently he's the man of many genres as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've always kind of gotten a glimpse of that with something like, Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World, which isn't just kind of, usual sketch comedy.
I mean, yeah, but even that is still very comedy-based, even if it's not sketch comedy. It's still rooted in comedy.
I know, what I'm saying is we've kind of, we've had, that being just kind of a series within itself. We've kind of seen dramatic parts from that show.
Sure,
and we've seen kind of the closest thing we've had to drama outside of that was, Watching You, obviously, the big episode 4, which, of course, that is a comedy, though, so again, that's what I'm saying, We've seen Josh dip a toe into some other things. This is like a full-on, okay, he's doing full-on drama in kind of the early Young Buck days. This is interesting.
Yeah, I was very surprised by how effective it was, Dragon. Not only is it Joshua Thomas doing a genre that we've never seen him tackle before, but again, let's hit him with the 48-hour film festival of it all.
Yeah, okay, so the credits on this, so Joshua Thomas directed this. Now, he had a hand in all three of our usual aspects, but he had kind of a extra hands-on deck. So he edited this along with Stefan Villa, let's just go with Villa, I don't know. He wrote it along with Kat Connor. Now, the crew on this, he entered this 48-hour film festival while he was still in the midst of Erase Away, his first feature effort. So that's why a lot of the crew on this, hence some of the co-writers, a lot of the assistants, a lot of the people behind the camera, a few well involved on camera, but not as many as you'd think. The Erase Away crew and a little bit of the cast, they had hands on this. A lot of it in the behind the scenes, like the news anchor that we don't see but we hear. She is one of the party goers in Erase Away. So
Okay.
Again, not a lot, because I swore when I heard that, hey, some of the Erase Away cast is in this, I would have bet you dollars to donuts that our villain in this was from Erase Away, but it was not. So yeah,
right.
But so this is interesting to you. I don't know if you looked into this or not, but so as you mentioned, this is a 48-hour film project, which we've always heard Joshy Boy talk about. It's always brought up when we covered the early years. We kind of worked in a little reference in the old JGI biopic, because we don't know a lot about the 40-hour film period, but. So again, this is during the San Antonio years for Josh, like way before he makes the LA pilgrimage, as it were. This is 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, this is 10 years ago, again, kind of in the midst of Erase Away, which is pretty much kind of book of Genesis for Joshua Thomas's career, in terms of him kind of becoming the filmmaker, as it were. And he kind of views this as so bad it's good. He kind of cautions everyone. It's kind of a so bad it's good sort of thing. Which I think there's more good than there is bad.
I think Josh, I think you're being modest. I think this is a case of like the creator seeing his own work, and like I said, I think the main gripe is with the acting. But I mean, given the circumstances, it's fine.
Yeah, I won't put pillows out for him. There's some bad in this. It's not a deal breaker, but there's some bad in this, which
Sure,
you
sure.
know.
Like I
And
said,
so,
just if anything, I thought it was suspenseful, and I think it did a job well in that regard.
well, I agreed, and we'll highlight the suspenseful quality, which is my favorite
Yeah,
part of this thing. Which, but
right,
anyway,
right.
more on that later. But anyway, so here's the interesting thing. So there were guidelines for this. So apparently, with everyone who entered the 48-hour film project, they were instructed to work a few things into their films, whatever they may be, within the 48-hour time frame. And here were the things, and you can probably guess how they kind of manifested themselves, having seen it. Okay, you ready for this? Did you know any of this?
Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, I'll shout out for the folks who haven't. So it has to be a western. Uh, your main a character making furniture has to be a component of presumably of your main character, which is either going to be Rose or Ross. Depending if they're male or female, they have to be named Rose or Ross. A gift has to be a prop that is used within the piece. They have to give someone a gift, or a gift has to factor in, and we have to work in the line. I wouldn't count on it. We got to work that in there, which we do.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's all that said and done, let's just dive right into it. So again, folks, not going to be making a lot with the ha-has, but I don't know. Let's see what comes.
All right, so I will say, Dragon, the first couple minutes of this are pretty cringy. Like, I was honestly like the first couple minutes before I really knew what was going on or where it was going. I almost messaged you and was like, "Are you sure we really want to do this? You sure? You sure?"
You were really going to chicken out just at the top.
Just given the political nature of it, yes.
I did not have that. I mean, when we start off, it's like, okay, we're definitely in Texas. You're showing the farmland, with the horses. Basically, we're trying to sell the Western charm of it all. There, like, okay, we meet Rose, played by Karen Sutherland. She's making this rocking chair, and again, look at this. Right off the bat, he hit three out of the gate, which is really impressive. We got Rose, we got the Western with the barn and the horses and everything, and we got she's making furniture. She's making the rocking chair.
17 seconds in.
That's what I'm saying. That's impressive, man. He hit those right off. I gotta tell you though, just to highlight the little things. I love how he shot her doing the finishing on this wood, man. Putting the finishing touches on this rocking chair, polishing it, just enjoying it. I really like those little details. Good shots.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so she sits in the chair and she kind of drifts off into thought, and she kind of imagines her husband returning from war, which was always kind of a cheerful thought with the troops coming home, especially the ones with families. You see all those reunion videos, which were kind of foreshadowing and teeing up with moments like this. So I knew you'd come back. So already I'm engaged in kind of I'm rooting for this.
I just want to clarify, this opening bit is fine. It's really the first real scene that I have kind of an issue with.
That's the thing. I like that we're kind of we're endeared a little bit to this mother character right off the bat. We're kind of rooting for and of course she's woken up by the kid, like, hey mom, those girls, those Hate America girls are at the door, which is never a good sign, but. And again, folks, 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's the trippy thing about this, Dragon, is that it's like, man, 10 years ago seems so quaint with everything that's happened.
Yep. All right, so Mom here is going to answer the door, and she has this duo of protesters, pretty much, assumedly, kind of these kind of anti-war protesters, they're more like petitioners, going door to door getting signatures for whatever cause of the month it is, and kind of the whole we're very very anti-war, but kind of obnoxiously so.
Basically, the proto-Twitter army.
Well, yeah, sure. Back when Twitter used to be on pen and paper, yeah, sure. Anyway, so let's see. Honestly, I like there's an implied kind of snide history between these characters, where we have Rose here, who I don't know if the implication is maybe they used to be friends, because she seems like a relatively new mother. Again, obviously the kid's is 10 years old, but I mean, it's kind of like a young mother. I don't know. The point being, and regardless, so it seems like this is like a regular occurrence, like monthly. Oh yes, the Hate America girls. Like, yes, I just, and it's the fact that these girls they just don't seem to have any tactors recognize that. Hey, you're kind of bashing the troops here, in which her husband is is deployed. You know.
Yeah, and honestly, Dragon, at that moment, I was kind of like, oh, I kind of gave like the Simpsons taller shrug, where I was like, oh boy, oh, where's this going?
Hmm. And basically, they're trying to make the point that you're taking that we're one of all this national security money should be going towards global warming, which again is an oversimplification. Let's be honest, but
Have you noticed how hot it is?
it's
It's
summer.
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 Apparently, the girl's name is Summer, which like, well, let's be honest, not one of Josh's best. I don't know. I don't think it's one of the best lines. It's a little on the nose. It's a little like I'm gonna blame the co-writer on that. I'm gonna blame Kat on that one, not Josh, just to save face.
Oh God.
I don't know. It just sounds like you really had to hit in the summer name. That sounds like a requirement that was not listed. But anyway,
Right.
anyway. So point being,
There has to be a character that's named after a season, and the season is mentioned.
Yeah, like okay. Well, we couldn't go with autumn, so we're gonna go with we're gonna go with summer. Anyway. So these two college hotshots here, they're not considering Rose's feelings. You get as her husband is deployed. Now, you imagine they would just stop going to this house after a while, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He's at war for oils. Oh, you guys, man, come on. Anyway, so then the kid enters here. Brandon's trashing these girls, respectfully so. Like, hey, shut up, my dad's a hero, and he hits the binder. Man, he slaps the binder down. And this bit, I really love the acting on this bit, man. I love this bit where, as the kid kind of wanders off, one of the snide girls says, "He's adorable," and then we have Karen's Karen Sutherland's great nod here, like, "Yeah, he is." It's like, yeah, man, that's a great mom moment. I loved it.
She does play the mom quite well. I
Yeah.
think the acting in this is relatively subpar, but I do think that the mother does play the mother role very well, for sure.
So then enters, in quotes, Charlie.
All right, this guy is like, I immediately was kind of hooked when this guy entered the picture. Like you could tell there was something off with him kind of right away, but you didn't know what. And then the way it panned out, Dragon, I gotta tell you, it kind of read like one of those sort of like Reddit "Let's Not Meet" stories. The way that some of the specific beats of it that we'll get into. So yeah, Tony, played by
Lawrence Mercado.
Lawrence Mercado. Thank you. So yeah, this is a really interesting kind of scenario because it's like the thing about it is that his story is just sketchy as hell. You know what I mean? He rolls right up to the specific farm. He's like, "Hey, I'm out of gas."
Yep. Also, a little fun fact. So again, the full name Josh has to use here is Rose, I believe Rose Gillian or something like that. And it's I just love like she does the full introduction. So yeah, just in case there's any doubt, I worked in the full name, full points, which is nice. But yeah, so this guy's he's basically taking advantage of the old Texas hospitality is what he's doing here. The old like needs directions because he's low on gas. Like, where's the nearest gas station? You know who I thought this was? I thought. Do you remember? Do you remember the douchey boyfriend from A Race Away, Zach? The one who's
Yeah, vaguely.
Weird guy obsessed with the MMA fighting. That guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought this was him, but a little heavier, which is impossible, just given that this was shot at the same time as A Race Away. So yeah, it is absolutely different actor. But yeah, this guy, I agree. He kind of brought an instant, he instilled sleaziness. There's like just an already like assumed sleaze. Like I don't like even though when this guy showed up, I was like, I don't trust this guy, man. Not one. It's just something sleazy about him. I can't place it as something very sleazy. All right. So there's no cell reception. Basically, we kind of do a little bit of foreshadowing for a climax here, where Rose mentions there's no cell reception out here, and essentially civilization is 25 miles away. So this is not good for the events that are to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So Rose being all hospitable, she's offering some pleasantries, like offering a drink, and there's a gas can in the barn that he's welcome to. So meanwhile, Charlie's kind of mixing it, mingling with the girls. Hey, you guys Mormons or something? So far, nothing bad going on, but that's going to change. So Tiki, what's going on with the news 10
All
years
right,
ago?
so the kid in the equation is eating, I don't know, like pizza rolls or something.
I don't know, I thought it was like watermelon or fruit or something. I could be
Well,
wrong.
honestly, the only reason I brought up the pizza rolls is it gives me excuse to do a "Who wants a pizza roll?"
Right.
So,
Anyway, the point being,
but
the kid
yeah,
in the
he's
kitchen.
watching the news, and oh boy, on the newscast, it just happens to be same person now. Now we see his name is Tony, and he's an escaped murderer, I believe, right?
Rapist and murderer. He's an escaped
Rapist
convict.
and murderer. Oh God.
Yep, rapist and murderer, which makes his actions later on even creepier when you really think about it.
Mhm.
So Tony Marshall, and of course we have I love there was already an instant tension of like, oh god, like he's like, hey mom, look at the TV. He says, no, not now. He says, no, no, look at it. He's like, oh god,
No,
she's
that
not
was a
gonna
well
see.
directed bit. That was a well directed bit because it's like you kind of think that she is just going to ignore him. So it's a nice placed bit of tension for sure.
But again, I love that we subvert that. Like, okay, she sees it now, she's informed, which is a great call.
All right, and this is where she kicks into mom mode, and
Yeah.
I really kind of get it. Like at this point on, I think I want to say the sketch, but it's not a sketch. I'm used to that in our vernacular. The film really kicks into high gear here.
Yes, I love Act Two of this thing is great. Yeah. So anyway, so she tells Brandon to lock himself in his room, and so she can help the girls. And we have a nice little moral here. It says, wait, why help them? They hate you and Dad because it's the right thing to do. It's like, yeah, I can get behind that. So the kid's worried, like worried she's gonna be out there all alone dealing with this guy. I'll be fine. So after the kid goes upstairs, she grabs a big honking knife. Okay, so then we have this is always a great bit of direction from Josh here. I love what he did. I love what he did here, where they have this coded performance between Rose and the girls, where Rose is inviting the girls in, which God seems like something she would never have done before. Like, hey girls, why don't you come in and help yourselves some drinks while I take care of Charlie here?
Now I've heard this as a strategy that that people use to defend themselves in situations where they want to get someone out of a bad situation is that they'll come up with a scenario where like let's say it's like I don't know, I can't think of specific examples, but I really Dragon, I want to say that Joshua Thomas worked in some real world research into this of like what people actually do in scenarios like this, because this was like a really, like you said, it's a really smart directing choice in terms of just the story beat of it. I feel like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and again, I love just like I love that we convey the performance in the eyes here. Where like even though these girls are really snide, like initially they're not stupid. Initially, where where it's like they're seeing like they're picking up. It's like I want you to check on Brandon too. Like yeah, sure, okay. It's just like why are we doing this? Just come on, let's just go inside. Like I don't know, isn't that the cue? Slap the bind. Let's just go inside. Anyway, so they're going inside. Anyway, so now Mr. Mustache Twirl here. He's asking like, hey, how old?
This guy is legitimately the biggest mustache twirler who doesn't have a mustache, Dragon.
Yep. Yep. You know what's kind of well? No, I don't want to make this. I don't want to convolute things. I'll save it for later. Anyway, so
It's already convoluted enough.
want me to tell you?
No, not
All right.
really.
All right, fine. Anyway, so
Tell me if it's fair if you remember.
all right. Tell you later.
Yeah, if you remember.
All right, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so how old's the kid? 10 years old. So now we begin some Albuquerque verse tension. This is my favorite kind of element of the thing. Oh boy, the tension here. This is where the tension mounts. Like, oh god, it's the kind of the battle of wits here. Like, who's gonna figure out who's play first here? Like, this is nice. So Tony here, he's kind of sniffing out that basically he's sniffing out the victim here. Basically, he's trying to target Rose here, and that's why he's asking these pervasive questions. You're like, hey, so you guys out here all alone? It's just you and the kid? Yeah, well, my husband's coming home real soon. Which again, nice foreshadow, by the way. Where again, there's also a question of like, is Papa going to show up? And
I really like the ambiguity of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, there's also the scary possibility he just might not be coming home at all, which is adding to the kind of the.
That is really where I thought they were going at first with it, Dragon. I really thought it was kind of like, part of her play of like, much in the same way of pretending that the girls were her daughters. You know what I mean?
Well, wait, well, they're not. Well, just that friends. Yeah, they were friends. Sure.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we have this bit that kind of conveys all, where he's handed this drink, he's doing a little walk and talk here, and he just kind of dumps it the moment she's walking. He's like, why didn't even take a sip, man? He's like, dumps the whole thing. All right, so she asked him that, Rose asked, quote unquote, Charlie here, help, with the gas can. Be a gentleman, help me with the gas can. And again, the little shift of the eyes kind of conveys, like, he knows he's got to act fast now because she's being a little too smart here than the usual victim. So we convey a lot with our looks here, is what I'm getting at. And then meanwhile, the girls are inside the house, about checking on the kid, calling up to him. Tony, meanwhile, again, this kind of tension mounting. Tony then grabs Rose. Oh boy, grabs Rose, and then he has this really creepy line. I'll punch this guy in the face. He's doing such a good job here being creepy. Where it says, "Hey, scream. If you scream, I'll make him watch."
Oh God! Oh man! Yeah. It's like, I mean, conceptually, this thing is really well done in terms of just being kind of like a raw sort of like early Tarantino Albuquerque verse style, crime thriller.
Oh yeah. So let's see. So as he's about to rape her, which essentially is what happened, is what he's beginning to kind of make the in quotes intimate moves here, which are the furthest thing from intimate. She does this really sweet move, and I love how this was kind of revealed. She, as the knife was in her boot, pulls it out and stabs him in the leg. Runs back into the house, and honestly, when she goes back into the house, to me, we enter Act 3 of this short film, and that's where things kind of get messy for me. So anyway, so she's telling the girls to lock the house, and there's a murderer. I do kind of like the idea that, oh my god, she's running with a bloody knife. What's going on here? So it's like, no, guys, there's a murder. And then we have a line where, again, I'll give this line a pass, but until what follows. So Summer saying, oh, it's always the cute ones. They're either murderers, married, or gay. Like, that's not a great line, but I'll give it a pass until what happens next happens. So Summer, I think we made the girls, especially Summer here, a little too dumb.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of got the sense that it's maybe trying to be played as black comedy. Did you get that sense?
I mean, that line is supposed to be a funny line, which implies that, it's supposed to be, it's like a horror movie, ideally. It's supposed to be killing off one of our vapid kind of aimless stooges in the slasher movie. Essentially, it's kind of what we're doing here. But it feels tonally wrong to me. How does it feel to you?
I feel like it would play better if the rest of the thing were taking on more of a black comedy vibe, because I feel like a lot of what this is trying to do with, kind of like I said, like the real world details of what you would do in a situation like this, mixed with kind of like the thematic, kind of like the returning from war, kind of like the politics of it. I feel like if the rest of the thing had a more tongue-in-cheek vibe to it, it would play better. But as it stands now, honestly, Dragon, I gotta tell you, as it stands now, I feel like the two characters just in general are the weak link of this thing.
That sounds about right. That's what I'm saying, Tiki. Like, the moment she just has like, oh, she made a funny. It's not really funny, but I'll give it a pass. She made a funny, haha. And then she didn't hear. Like, we pretend like that line didn't mean anything. We're just like, oh, so she acknowledges that he's a murderer, which is bad. We're in action mode right now. Okay, but what is the next thing she does? She just walks outside, like, I'm leaving. It's like, what? Like, she's supposed to lock the door. You're just gonna walk out there? I mean, look, there's slasher movie, dumb. But this, come on. Just walks out there, and then she's like, then she's taking
literally, almost literally just walks into his arms.
Yes, which is dumb. I can't excuse that. That's really dumb. Especially after you tried to make it okay, we're gonna make her a team player, but just calling out the situation, which nope. So Tony's now grabbed her, says, hey, you like to play rough? My husband's gonna be home soon, which again, seemingly like a way of kind of a little crisis thing, a real life crisis thing, like, hey, husband's coming home, therefore you might not want to stick around. Unfortunately, sometimes that can accelerate things like it's doing now. And Tony says, no, I don't have any time to enjoy this. And then he just kind of does a neck snap. But you got to be honest, I don't buy this guy would be able to snap a neck like that. But then again, I don't know. The point being, it's like we have just, we have a neck snap. And so that's what I'm saying. Totally, we're making a joke of this character then, but okay, dead. And I gotta tell you, I feel that death kind of cheapens the next hostage situation to me. I don't know. It feels like, I feel the neck snap is a little gratuitous. I'm not saying it's overly violent or anything. It feels like, I don't think we need, we did such a good job selling the reality of this guy and the tension of this guy. I don't think we need, like, and he killed her with a neck snap. Oh, he's scary. He's like, no, he's already scary. Okay. So anyway, so now he enters the house. He enters the house. And basically, he's about to threaten Rose and her friend. Then the kid shows up, brandishing a gun because Texas brandishes a gun. It's a Western. You hurt my mom and I'll kill you, which, okay. Now things are getting interesting, and then he takes the mom hostage with the very same knife. Not sure how he got that, but we'll just go with it.
Right.
Climax. For the climax's sake. So Rose is telling Bran to put the gun down. He's beginning to mock the boy, which I don't really... like, this guy's just really... He's kind of, like, very monstrous.
I thought the mocking the kid was pretty creepy, honestly. I like that beat.
Here's the thing, it's creepy now, but how we keep it going after what happens is when things get a little... Alright, so, yeah, so he's mocking the boy. Anyways, then the boy awesomely shoots him. Yeah, shoots him mid-sense, which I always want to see in these hostage situations. You always have, like, like the bad guy tough talking, well, like, yeah, you can't get me unless this happens.
Right.
Hey, bam, he gets shot, but my problem is it doesn't end there. My problem is, it's twofold. One, JGI always had this in the early years, and this is kind of still, like, earmarked in Joshua Thomas's early work. The gun effect was lame. It's really lame how that was shot.
Yeah, 48 hours. Give him a break.
No, it's still though. I mean, it's just like I don't know. The fact that it didn't get better during the early years of JGI when they had more than 48 hours. I don't know. It's JGI's early gun work was never that great. Anyway. So anyway, so he gets shot like somewhere, I guess, kind of in the clavicle, so to speak. Because again, I have no idea how he's alive during the rest of this. But the point being, it's shot.
I totally agree with this this next little beat. I feel like it kind of extends into cliche horror movie territory where it should be going for more of a crime thriller vibe.
Yep. So Tony here, he's mocking Rose in his end, which again, just it's a little over the top. Basically,
it's over the top because he's like, "Oh, you can't kill me," and it's like, "No, I'm pretty sure she can."
The kid, okay, she just stabbed you. The kid just shot you. Are you really gonna try? We've taken all the scary credibility away at this point. It feels like honestly. See, what Josh is doing here, he's trying to we have this last tacked on scene so we can get the other requirement, which is the line. So he says, like, he has a threatening line, don't get me wrong. So he threatens to come back and start with the boy because she intends on having him arrested. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to start with the boy, which is terrifying given also that he's a rapist too, which is terrifying. So she then says, I wouldn't count on him, and then shoots him in the head, and it's like, we could have just done this with one shot, and this feels like Josh just wanted to get in. I wouldn't count on it dramatically. If it were me, I would have had the kid somehow say it, or either the kid or more.
I would have had it like naturally put into the opening conversation, like the political conversation.
Sure. I mean, either that or like the only other thing that could make sense really would be like if in that hostage, like holding her knife point. The kid makes the threat, and then he says, Tony says, "I wouldn't count on it." Then, bam, he gets shot. That would be interesting. But,
yeah.
Anyway, so point being, dead. After a little fade out, the door opens very conveniently. It's like, really? I mean, okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
I'm gonna like pull an Alfred Dark Knight Rises on this shit and be like, you know what? My theory is that this is just like they're all in kind of like an adrenaline rush daze, and this isn't actually happening.
I mean, well,
it's way too convenient. It's way too convenient.
It is too convenient. Here's the thing: if the kid didn't rush the hug, the possible hallucination, I don't know, but maybe. But regardless, I'm just taking it at face value. Door opens, the gun is drawn, then we reveal like, oh, Dad has come back. Dad's returned. Then we have kind of what we see all the time. You have the veteran and the kind of the family reuniting, and of course he drops a present, and it's not just a gift. It's like a full on wrapped present. We just drop the gift. Again, Josh wants to make sure he gets those points on this one. Like, okay, it's a gift in every meaning of the word. A little wrapped gift. It's a mic drop moment, man. The gift is dropping. The gift is not what's in the box. It's Dad coming home. That's the real gift. So it runs up, and then we get the namesake, essentially, as they're all hugging each other and holding each other, essentially, in your arms. In his arms, in everyone's arms, in your arms.
Okay, I'm not even sure if this is intentional or not. But the very last shot, the dad looks up and he kind of has like a little bit of a concerned look on his face. And honestly, Dragon, like I said, I have no idea if this is intentional. But the way I read it is it's kind of almost like a Graduate style ending where it's like, what's going to happen immediately after this? Like, what's the conversation going to be like when, when they find the body and everything like that? Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit of ambiguity there of like, what do you think?
I think that, well, you're right. There is a little bit of ambiguity. I mean, if you're asking the question, what's going to happen next? Oh, they're going to be fine because he was an escaped convict and his place was.
I agree.
They'll be fine. Don't worry about them. Summer was dumb as a bag of rocks. I mean,
All right, so that's it. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about this one, Dragon. Just giggle it. You better get on that content, baby, or else we're gonna dig up even more embarrassing old family pictures.
Yeah. Of course, we're half joking with that too. This was not nearly embarrassing as other things. I mean,
I genuinely think this has a good sense of tension, and that's about the nicest thing I can say about it. But yeah, it's for a 48-hour film festival entry, I think it's pretty damn impressive, honestly, just given the circumstances.
Yeah, again, look, my final thought, it's a clever exercise in the early years of Joshua Thomas, for sure. It's him taking a stab at the dramatic, which, again, as we've kind of glimpsed here and there, again, at its best, probably, Harley Quinn and the Joker, or like an episode of Raceway. The dramatic stuff, Josh really does have a handle on the dramatic, but I feel the problem with his work that we've kind of seen here in a little bit of Erasaway is that Josh doubles down. Josh has trouble with a climax in a dramatic work. In this and Erasaway especially. Erasaway was too ambiguous towards the end. Then we had like the weird like MMA fighter thing with Zach or the kickbox, whatever his thing was. And it's just like we're just kind of like Josh has trouble with climaxes where I feel we kind of did that. We doubled down. We didn't have to. We don't need to kill a girl. Said. And we have to snap a neck before we enter like the big tense, like is the kid going to shoot or not? It's just like Josh, however, has an absolutely strong sense of setup, which this absolutely proves. The man's got a great sense of tension and setup and just kind of like the intricacies of human behavior, which again we've seen in other works. Again, Harley Quinn and the Joker being kind of probably the best example. Certainly. So again, I like seeing the hungry filmmaker in Josh for sure, and I would like to see him kind of touch back into the dramatic now and again. I want to box him into doing just comedy, making with the laughs or putting on the makeup. I can see him doing other things, but I'd like to see where he's at with this like 10 years from now if he were to do something in line with this, even if he had like a deadline or something. Which I mean, given like just like random kind of subjects and topics and everything, I think he did the best he absolutely could with this. Just maybe could have punt, maybe could have less is more with the ending. Probably would have worked. I don't know. All right. All right, well, that does it until the next exciting reach into the Just Giggle grab bag.
It's summer.